Morning, folks. I'm out here at the pig pen, and I set up this new feeder. One of the reasons I set up this new feeder, number one, is to have feed for these pigs 24/7. The other one is to keep the ravens out of it. Now, some people say, well, I don't have a raven problem. Well, if you have feed laying around, or you have water and you're the only source of water, and it's open, like our horse troughs and some of these other troughs, then the ravens are going to come. And the worst thing about it is they mess on everything, right? This is all ravens. And this is our water barrel. We have to clean this out. A lot of moths get in there. The pigs have really learned how to drink out of it. But I set this feeder up, and I took the doors, those top of those doors down there on the bottom. You can actually take those off. I took those off for about the past 3 or 4 days, and I wanted to see if these pigs would learn how to scoop it up, you know, with their rooted up, and then get in there and eat. And so far, they're unsure about it because it comes down over their head. So what I'm going to do with this piece of pop I got in my hand is I'm going to put it under the lids, pull back on the lids, and wire it back to the fence so that they can go ahead and go in there and eat and get used to that. Just step by step, teach them how to eat out of it. Once they get comfortable with that lid over their head, then I can, about 3 or 4 days, I can take this rod out of there, and maybe they'll go up and under there. Part of livestock husbandry is just trial and error, just seeing what you can see, being observant. You know, I could just throw it in there and say, figure it out. But that might be 2 or 3 days of stress for these little pigs. That has an impact on their growth. It has an impact on their weight gain and just their overall performance. So we want to make it a smoother transition. And those lids keep the ravens out. Ravens still might get in there a little bit for the next 3 or 4 days, but we're working towards an end goal. So I'm gonna go grab some 14 gauge electric wire and get this rigged up. Pepper right there caught a lizard. She is taking it to her babies. She's crying for her babies right now. One of them's right over there coming her way. But she's caught a lizard. Now they have cat food, but that cat right there is a hunter. Oh. See if I can zoom in here. Sorry about the camera work. This camera is a little bit more shaky. I really need to get me a GoPro. It's my belief everybody ought to keep a roll of 14 gauge wire. Have to get in there. 14 gauge electric wire around. When I run out, I just go get some more. So they can go in under here and get to the feed, and they'll get used to this being above their head. So let's see here. Hogs are destructive little creatures. homesteading, farming, ranching, whatever you want to call it, has got a lot of projects that are temporary. And wires, something that's readily available. Used to, we got wire from baling from hay bales. It was baling wire. That was actually what it was. Came off the bales. And I learned a lot of wire tying, wire twisting techniques from my father-in-law. He was really good at it. He could take and put together stuff with wire, and it would last. Sometimes better than what it was if you went and got some professional part. So having wire around is just I'm gonna tighten that up a little bit on the outside. Just a really good idea. So the other day, I was out driving some of that steel you seen me cut on the last video, and my pull cord broke. And all I had was this leash I had braided. I braided this leash out of hay twine. I usually got hay twine truck, but I didn't have any. So I cut this leash apart, and I made me a pull cord. It worked. I've had some issues with this head, this crank head, because the spring in it's broke a couple times, but I did have a new handle here at the house, just some things I picked up. So I've got to change this out so that I don't have this issue again, and be a little bit better prepared. And I've got more stuff here at the house, so it's better to do this sort of thing when you're where you have more resources than out in the field. This is a Sky Drill post pounder. I drive up to 3.5 inch posts with it. Most of what we use is a 2 7/8, and this thing has been phenomenal. And you go back and look at my Facebook post. I actually had it for sale because when I got hurt, broke my Achilles heel, things got kind of tight, and we sold a bunch of stuff off. Not what we wanted to do, it's what we had to do. The name of the game is survival some days. So this Sky Drill comes with a pouch of tools, really nice little unit. It's very serviceable. So this is the mechanism. This would continue to work. I just would like to have something a little bit stouter than hay twine, because I pulled it out once already. Okay, I got it in there. Now I just have to tie a couple of knots to keep it from pulling through. The hole I just put it in. And I've got this spring right here held under tension, so it's pretty nerve-wracking. Oh, got the second knot in there already. Okay. Now we just take this and pull it through. And there's a little compartment there you can just kind of push that in. I want to cut off a little bit of the excess so it's not, oh my gosh. Not in the way of our spring working. Just want to push it down that little compartment. We got all this other string here to take and reuse later if we need to. Here's the new handle. Kind of big. I like bigger, especially when you got big hands like mine. So got about that much handle. So we're going to pull out about that much rope. Knot. We'll just test it. Not quite. So we'll just feed this knot down here. There we go. We're back in business. Get some T-posts loaded and go drive some T-posts today. Gonna be a hot one. Okay guys, it's a hot one. I am working on 2 different projects. Trying to work on one a little while, work on another a little while. Anyway, thought I'd take and I'd show you this. You might find it interesting. So here we are, we're building a wood brace. So we have this post, it's in the ground 3 feet. And then we have our kicker brace. It's at about a 50-degree angle. What we did is I went and I cut a 3-foot trench here, cut this trench, and I went and cut a 3-foot piece of cedar. Now, the reason I'm doing this and not putting concrete is because this ground, this is mostly sand, it's loose, but it's also hard right now. So you could put concrete in there, put it all around that post, even if you put what we call a catapult on there. Just put a bunch of nails or a bunch of screws, a bunch of bolts, even some rebar through it. And when this ground gets wet, it's going to move. It's going to expand. It's going to contract. It's going to slope if it has pressure against it. It's just the way this ground is. It's mostly sand. So what we do was we disperse the pressure instead of having it in one place. We got a 3-foot board this way. So that's this pressure where we pull this fence against here, down through here. This is a short stretch. Short stretches are worse than long stretches, to be honest with you, because you're putting more tension in a smaller area. So we disperse the pressure of this onto this wide base, and it's going to move down. The pressure is going to push it down and out. So if you can get if you're in ground where you can take and put you a crossbar, that's what I call it, and you can drive it in tight, that's great. This kind of ground, you can do that. You could tamp it in, put the dirt in there, and it's going to move. So what I do is I come in behind with some 4-foot T-posts here and there, and I drive them on each side of this 3-foot crossbar, and that helps with the push out. The push down is dispersed by the 3-foot piece, and the wider you can get it, the better. This is what I had. I just went over here to this tree and cut it. So that's what I had. It's what I'm using. Cedar, it'll be in this ground until we're old and gray, and it won't give up. So the ground heaves, contracts, and over time what that does is the posts start to move in. Everybody has seen the posts where this post is in and the other post is in, and this is actually a gate right here. So we can't tip it out. We actually tipped out past level out the corners just a little bit, 15-20 degrees. It helps with the over time, the stress pulling on it. So we have our tension wire run plumb to the ground, run up to there, and then we have a piece of rebar all the way through. It's driven all the way through, not too much on this side. If this was a corner, I'd drive it over and bend it over there. It's a piece of light rebar. I also put a 4.5-inch structural screw in here just to hold it while I drilled this hole and drove the rebar through. Staple that down. It's not going anywhere. The tension wire holds the post down as the pull. So as it's trying, if pressure were to take and try and pull this post out, right, it's actually pulling as this takes and moves this way or wants to come up, what we call jacking. It's actually pulling this post in harder against it. So it all works together. This fence will be here for the next 50 years. Alrighty, folks. I'm out here driving T-posts. Finally got out here. A lot goes on in a day. And what I've got right here behind me is our T-posts. I lay out 10 at a time, then I pre-drive them where all these flags are. This is all pre-work to work. So we lay out with a wheel flags every 15 feet all the way down this fence line. Then I come through and I preset 10, and I just drive them in enough so that they'll stand up, and then I come back and drive them with the mechanical driver, and then I take and level them and clip them to the wire. Now, what I done here so far, you can see these white marks and black marks. That first one up there is where we drive to depth, and then we have 54 inches above ground, and we've got a mark. See, we got a mark right here, and a mark, and that's where the bob wire goes. So this is all pre-work to work, so that when we do get to working, there's no guesswork. Everything's pre-marked, makes things go a lot faster, and it really does help with the flow of everything. So I'm going to get after it, get to driving some T-posts. Now, only about 100 more to go. Okay guys, this is the next day, and 116 posts later. I did about half yesterday and half today. I will come out here tomorrow and run wire on this side. This side will be done. I do have to come back and put stays and caps on the posts, but other than that, the hard part's done. All we like now is finishing. With that being said, I'm going to end this video up right here. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If you like what you see, tell your friends about us. We don't ever know what we're going to be doing, but most days I'm going to try to bring you a little bit of everything we do, and hopefully you enjoy it. Tell your friends about us. Share us on social media all around. And remember, trust in the Lord and do good. Live off the land. Enjoy the bounty of it. And we'll see you later.